Representative Mannion of New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the witness for participating here today and joining this important discussion. Reading and math skills are fundamental in setting our students up for lifelong success, both in and out of the classroom. To open doors for future generations, improving proficiency and student achievement in these core subjects should be a national priority. As a former public school teacher of almost 30 years, and someone who represented almost 400 teachers in a teacher association, and is the spouse of an elementary school teacher, an early literacy expert, an instructional coach who develops culturally responsive curriculum. I've seen firsthand how the teaching profession has changed and benefited from new evidence-based approaches, including the science of learning. As I was the Teacher Association president in a school district that implemented the science of reading, there was great skepticism from many of the teachers that had taught reading for a long period of time. And it was implemented not starting at the kindergarten level, but broad-based all the way across the board. And I can tell you that the teachers experienced intensive training in preparation for this implementation, and the success was resounding and the buy-in was massive. But classroom instruction is just a part of the equation, and for our country to truly raise the bar in reading and math, our students need strong support systems. We need intensive teacher training and professional development. We need high-impact tutoring, mentoring, after-school programs, and health and wellness support. I've recently introduced into legislation a Teachers Are Leaders Act, which will make sure that we do support our new teachers and we use our veteran teachers to help with their professional development. So it is troubling to see what's happening in this administration in a critical time in our country, that we are creating a federal voucher system that is going to divert taxpayer money to private schools, terminating critical education science research, withholding billions in funding for our K-12 schools, canceling AmeriCorps grants that directly support youth literacy and one-to-one tutoring. So my question is for you, Dr. Wingfield. I appreciate your written testimony discussing these federal disruptions. Can you expand on how these actions are expected to impact reading and math skills for students with the greatest needs, including students that live in impoverished communities, students with disabilities, or English language learners?
Yes, thank you. So I want to lead by saying that our public schools are really anchors within our community. And so that's been beneficial to both the schools and the community because it helps build those bridges, and the educators within those school buildings have a better understanding for the community in which they're working with. With that being said, the funding's being cut. The funds that are being cut directly impact programming that assists families with acquiring English, that assists that high-impact tutoring that was offered during after school time or Saturday time or summertime that really helped bring up those test scores for a lot of our vulnerable communities after COVID. You talked about teacher training and teacher mentors. A lot of pre-service teachers and novice teachers entering the field need that level of mentorship from advanced teachers in order to make the appropriate choices and begin to learn how to read that data that informs their practice as well. After school programs, subsidies for families, or just lunch aid for students all impact the quality of learning for students. And if those are cut, then we'll see a decline in instruction because students don't have the stability of those programmings or the additional resources that help them progress through school.
Thank you for that answer. As you pointed out in your testimony previously, there are disparities in the NAEP performance based on socioeconomic status. From your perspective, how will the administration's actions especially impact students in high poverty or under-resourced schools?
It'll harm them further. Those vulnerable communities, again, it has a lot to do with access and supports in order to help create that stability and additional resources for learning. We'll see greater harm done. It creates unsafe environments.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.